Welcome back, and this week it's all about the rigging. Now if you watched my first video, or my second video I should say, about the survey, you will know that it wasn't particularly brought up in the survey that the rigging needed to be done, but there were some issues which I was concerned about. And the boat hasn't actually really sailed for quite a few years. The owner that had it before, he did actually motor it around, but he never actually sailed it. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that everything was absolutely safe for when I go out. So we decided to have the boat re-rigged, and many boats where we are that would be quite a problem, because here in the boatyard that we are, or the marina that we are, there's no haul out facilities. I believe there are jetty walls, and I believe that you can get the boat close enough there and use a crane to take the mast down, but we're quite lucky because we have a small boat, only 32 foot, and it's a southerly, and now southerlies have facilities for this. Yeah, so here's our mast, or the base of the mast, and southerlies quite luckily have what we call a tabernacle, which is this bit here, and so the mast is actually secured in that. It's bolted in just here, and that means that you can use that bolt that goes through it as a pivot, and stepping the mast on these is quite easy, or you would think it's quite easy. Now the idea was that we'd use a halyard, or they would use a halyard, attached to one of the cleats further down the dock, and a couple of wraps around the cleat, and gradually let out the line as the mast came down, which in principle sounds exactly the sort of thing that would make sense. So let's see how it went. Oh, and I have actually got my microphone now. It's attached and it's doing its job, hopefully right now. So hopefully the sound quality is going to be better. Hopefully we won't get so much wind noise, because this marina is in quite a valley, and we tend to get an awful lot of winds coming off the hills during the day, especially when it comes to early afternoon. And trying to make these videos without any wind noise becomes incredibly difficult, so let's see if this thing does its job. Now, I'm a couple of weeks ahead of you here, so when I've looked at the footage that I'd taken of this particular bit, because I mean, I was quite nervous of what was going on at the time. It's a big thing, stepping the mast, and especially when you're doing it in a sort of haphazard type of way that we were. Anyway, the footage is okay, but the speaking is not. So if you find me muting the footage and speaking over the top of it, just excuse that. I'm still trying to get used to making these videos. I'm not very good at it yet, but one day I will improve, hopefully. So the first job was to undo the forward shrouds, and then gradually, as they progressed, they were releasing some of the other shrouds, ready for it to fall back, or not fall back, hopefully it come back nice and gently. This bit seemed to take forever. I mean, I'm not complaining because I wanted them to be careful, but you know, as more and more of the supports come off that mast, you start worrying that it's going to come down before its time. So a quick change of position to get a better view, and mainly to keep out of everybody's way, and eventually it was time for the mast to start coming down. Now, one of the problems that they hadn't foreseen was as the mast was coming down, it was sort of twisting to one side, which was causing them some problems, and also it wasn't doing any favours for the tabernacle.
On this side, now getting tight already.
Yeah, because you have to just pull the mast this way.
Alright.
Okay, in. Come to the front with one today.
And as I found out afterwards, as it was getting lower and lower, it was getting heavier and heavier to hold, and well,
Start to get heavy here now. Right. Okay.
so the mast is down, and fairly successfully. Let's have a look. The riggers were very good about it. They obviously said, "Don't worry, they're going to replace the solar panel," and that's all that happened. So it wasn't so bad. So, opportunity to look at the mast, and obviously we're getting new lights put on it anyway. The lights are here, are ready to go. The electrician's coming tomorrow, but obviously that's looking a bit tired. We'll be putting a new wind instrument on it. We'll get rid of this and get the VHF aerial working, which it doesn't seem to do at the moment. But on the whole, not too bad, the mast. It needs a good clean, and that's my job this afternoon. The spreaders, which I was a bit concerned about, they're back here, are actually fine. They need a bit of a clean, same as everything else. We've got deck lights on the spreaders. They're halogen ones. They need coming off and replacing with LEDs because I don't think I could afford the power that they're going to use. We have a pole, a spinnaker pole there, which this part, the jaws here, are broken off and need replacing. Once again, an opportunity to get all these things done and get it all up to scratch. As you can see, you know, quite green. A bit of a good clean, that shouldn't take very long. Now, up this end, our only problem is this is the furler, or part of the furling system, and this end piece needs to come off to get the rest of it apart, and it just doesn't seem to want to come off. Now they've sprayed it with a releasing spray, a WD-40, and they're going to come back and try and remove it with heat tomorrow. If that works, that's fine. If not, what do they say about boats? Bring out another 1,000, and that's exactly what I'm going to have to do to get a new furler. Well, as could probably have been predicted, the furling system couldn't be saved. It's a very old system anyway, and the foil had drain holes at the bottom of it that over time had just got blocked up, and as we tried to disassemble it, there's just water pouring out of the whole thing, and well, corrosion had sort of built up in it, and yeah, it wasn't salvageable. So now I have a new to me but second-hand furling system, which is a little bit more modern, hopefully a little bit more reliable, and yeah, it's a good upgrade, I think. Now, while we had the mast down, it was down about a week in total while they they remade all the stays and everything for it. As I said, the electrician came. He put new lights on, so we've got new lights on the top. Got tricolour on the top. We've also got a steaming light on it, which makes us just that little bit more legal. And also, one of the things that I didn't know when I first came here, you have to have AIS. So that was another thing that was added as we did it. Well, it's been a week since the mast came down, and they've done all the work on it. They've got new stays, new everything. We've had the electrics done on the mast, and so now it's time to try and put it back up. And well, if you saw how it came down, it didn't cause a lot of damage, but let's see what this is going to do. Look at that, we have a mast. So that went a lot better than the taking it down. In fact, it went without a hitch, really. I was very impressed. It's one of those things. Here they have more experience with the larger cruising boats, as I said before. I don't think they get an awful lot of opportunity to play around with this idea of tabernacles, because they're generally smaller boats like this. So I think they learned a lot by what they did, and they certainly got it sorted out for the end. So anyway, next week, you never know, we might have some sales. I don't know. That's all dependent on customs. I ordered sales a while ago. They're coming from Zoom. I believe they're made in Sri Lanka. I've been promised them for over a week now, but they haven't actually arrived. So you never know, we might have some sales next week. And we are getting very, very close to being ready to actually leave here. There's not that much that needs doing. We've got some work still on the anchor. Currently, the anchor chain is secured directly to the locker, which shouldn't be. It needs a length of road between it, so that's going to happen in the next week. And apart from that, we've got a small potential problem with the engine. Nothing to worry about. It's currently it doesn't seem to be pumping enough water through, so it might be the impeller. I have impellers on order. They're supposed to be due, but they won't be due. They won't actually get here until the end of next week, so I doubt if we'll be able to fit that this week. But yeah, I think this is a good place to finish for this week, and thank you very much for watching. As ever, I really appreciate it. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please do. It's really, really helpful if you do. And yeah, if you have subscribed, don't forget to leave a like. Once again, YouTube always love those things. And I will see you next week, and by next week we should be almost ready to leave this harbour. I think I'll have to check my list of things that need doing, but I think we're near enough out of here. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.